friends, welcome on in. Let's do a little high fiving. You got somebody around that needs a high five, give them that high five. We're going to get going pretty quickly through things, but what we need today, weight-wise, is kind of the gamut. We need 2 light weights, 2 moderate weights, and then a heavy weight that can be a handheld heavy weight is a really, really good option. But you could get away with the moderate weights if you needed to through this. Basically, 2 moderate weights will absolutely get you through what you need today. Beyond that, we have our regular programming where we've got the new 222s, we've got that pyramid of power going on, and then we've also got those longer extended Tabata sessions as well. So we've got even our new warm-ups. Let's go ahead and practice a little bit of our new warm-ups. Our new warm-ups stand up as our start point, and we get into what we term the greatest stretch in the world. So we're going to step back, we're going to have our right foot in front with our left foot, we're going to do a big step going back. We're going to aim to get the left hand down to the floor, and then we'll open and rotate to the right. All right? Bring the hand down, stand up through the right heel, nice and tall, and then switch it. Big step back, work on sinking your hips a little bit down into the floor, and then bring that hand down and stand up tall. Perfect. Continue to work on kind of the extended step back and that arm really reaching kind of high and behind. Open up the chest and shoulder. Okay, give me a good tall stand up from here. Next up we get into our archer squat. So this has our feet real wide. Where toes can be either pointed forward or they can be slightly turned out. We're going to start by sitting back into one side. So that knee bends, we sit back. That inside arm is going to gently push against the knee. The outside arm is going to lift up and we're going to look at it. You're going to come back up nice and tall. We're going to sit into that next side, look up at that hand, and then come back to the top. Practice depth if you feel good, or if your knee bugs you a little bit, just kind of practice this at less depth, and let's warm up the knee safely. Okay, last 2. Inhale coming down, exhale coming up, and our final one. And up. Nice. All right. Third of our 4 warm-ups is a single leg deadlift and a reach. And so this single leg deadlift is going to be a part of what we're doing today. Start with that foot to the floor, kick the other one back, reach out with the hands, bring them back in, stand up tall, and switch that foot. Next leg, extend it behind you, reach out with those arms, bring them in, and stand up tall. Kind of work through the balance required. Feel those back muscles as you reach out and extend, how they have to turn on. We got 2 more of these here. All right, and our final one. Remember, we don't want that knee to cave in. We want to try to keep it a little bit to the outside. All right, our final movement brings us down to the floor. It is our rotating planks. So I want you to get into a good plank position first off on the floor, and then rotate it over to one side, lift that top arm, bring it back down, switch it over, opposite side next. We're being mindful of the hips, no sinking of those hips. We want them up a little bit so that engagement becomes higher through those obliques. Last 2 here. Open, feel the rotation as you open. Bring it down, last one. And then I want to come down to the floor, child's pose, so knees go to the floor. You're going to sit back, you're just going to reach out for a few. We're going to have a few breaths, and I want you opening the fingertips, pushing the fingers, the palms of the hands into the floor. Let's get a nice big inhale in, and a long exhale out. All right, so go ahead and bring yourself to kind of an upright seated position. I want you to grab your 2 moderate weights. It's time for us to kick into those 222s, and we're going to start on the floor with the Renegade rows, as well as the 2 heel lifts first. So let's get started in 3, in 2, in 1. We have those 2 Renegade rows, right? I'm showing you your moderate options through here, and that's going to be the case throughout the day. All right, 2 squats at the top, followed by 2 lunges. If you can bring those weights in front and keep them there, you're going to start waking up more, getting more heart rate, getting more upper body into that movement. Back down to the floor, once again, moderate option from the knees, doing those single arm rows as well as those single heel lifts. Step it back up, you got 2 squats followed by 2 lunges. All right, about 20 seconds. Let's see if you can get yourself close to 1 more round done. Smooth through those pulls, right? Stabilize the body. 10 seconds. We follow with our mobility move from a standing point. In 3, in 2, in 1, we're going to put the weights down, we're going to stand up, and we're going to have 3 openers for our shoulders. We're going to start by just raising them in a big circle in a forward direction. So we've got kind of a good tall stance, and we're working whatever our full range of motion is here. Then reverse that, going backwards. Alright, so big openers. Feel a little strong in your stance. The feet are grounded. Maybe those knees are doing a little bit of a pull out. And then we finish by doing a little side to side over to 1. Coming back up, switch it over. That's it. So this is going to be our trio of shoulder openers for our mobility move. Core 3 starts next, so I want you to come down to the floor. You're on your butt. It is a crab walk position with an opposite hand and foot touch. We start in 3, in 2, in 1. Now, more moderate option is pressing up and coming back to the floor. Press up, back to the floor. Breathe out as you push up. Or as Jackson's doing, each time he touches that foot, he's got a breath out going on. So breathe out, and find a little bit more consistency so that we create that nice in and out pattern. Our second movement puts us hollow hold position in 3, 2, 1. Flat onto the back, legs go up, hands come up, and we do a little side crunch to each of our sides. So what we're really trying to engage is these obliques on the side. I want you to find and feel a little crunch going through those obliques before you switch to the opposing side. More manageable option, 1 foot to the floor. Let's start with our right foot to the floor as that more manageable approach. Then our final movement takes us to a plank position and messes with the shoulders. In 2, in 1, plank position, and this is all about shoulder retraction, getting low, and shoulder extension, pressing away from the floor. Control it coming down, control it going up. And as you push up, let's see if you can feel those top abs working a little harder. As you sink back down, let's find those lats right here, really helping and creating that sink. We go finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. That is officially your warm-up, ladies and gentlemen. You're doing a fantastic job out there. All right, if you need any hydration, go ahead and take this moment to do so. Jackson and I from here are going to go over your pyramid of power. Per usual, we're going to cut the explanation time down a little bit. And when you're watching me, when we're getting into the actual movement patterns, I'll be doing your moderate approaches. So moderate approaches will be showing right from the get-go once we're in action. All right, so we start out with a squat and a curtsey. And so this is weight optional, but I do think I would prefer you to have 2 of your moderate weights. Weights are going to be down at the sides. We're going to start with 1 squat, just basic and simple. 1 curtsey on each side, so we got 2 curtseys. And then we come back down to that squat. So we just combo 1 squat with 2 curtseys for this motion. Our second movement, we're going to have a lateral lunge on both sides. Weights are going to be down in front of you. You're going to start by doing a lateral lunge to one side, and that's going to tilt the body down. Arms go wide, come back down, stand back up, and switch the sides. Go into that next side, up, back down, and all the way up with the body. So we've got that lateral lunge with the delt fly for exercise number 2. Exercise number 3 is a cross body punch. So we're going to keep both those weights. We're going to lift our right foot up. You're going to punch with your right arm across the body. First few, you might not be going very strong. You might do that the whole time. It's 40 seconds, and then we will switch to the opposite side when we come back up. Once that's done, we come down to the floor. We're going to be on our butt, and we're going to start out with a Russian twist. Got 30 seconds of these Russian twists. It is weight optional. You could also have the hands clasped together for this. Rotating side to side, more manageable approach. Those feet are on the floor. From there, we're going to keep you and hold you at a top point without any weight, but you're welcome to add it if you like. We're going to be nice and tall, chest high, and we're going to hold it still for 20 seconds. Once we finish that, we turn ourselves around. We go up into a low push-up hold. We're going to call this the half push-up hold. So you're going to get into that plank position. You're going to lower down and have the elbows right at your sides, and you are going to hold this for 10 strong seconds. You bend your knees, you rest, and then we do it all again. So what you're going to need are a couple of weight options. You might need those light weights through this. You're definitely going to need some moderate weights, and a heavy weight is optional for doing that squat and double curtsey. All right, let's put the time on the clock. We're going to start out with doing that squat and curtsey combo. We're going to start in 10 here, folks. So let's get set up in a good position. Feet should be shoulder width apart. In 3, in 2, in 1. One good squat going down. One curtsey on both sides. We get 2 total curtsies. All right, and then right back down to that squat. So once again, my more manageable people, we're not bending our knees as much. We're still focusing on our heels doing the work through the motion, but we're not necessarily getting depth into what we're doing. Not a lot of it, at least. Good, so Jackson's doing a great job of kind of keeping his chest high. That's going to keep his core active. Really going to keep his back straight in the motion as well. Awesome. Find your groove with wherever you're at. Use this as kind of our long warm-up motion here first. Hips should be feeling it when you push up through the curtsey. Your butt and that forward leg is what's doing the work. Now as we finish this up, we go to the lateral lunge next. 2 weights, either light or moderate. 2, 1, take a breather for 15. If you need to swap out weights, now could be a great time to do so. We need some movement with some space to move laterally. Weights down, we start in 3, in 2, in 1. 1 sitting back, coming up, and switching. I'm going to give you a little bit of a side angle on this one. I want those hips to really push backwards and those arms to splay out nice and wide before you come back up nice and tall. Okay? Sit into that, open, and then bring it up nice and tall. More manageable approach, we have that same thing where we're not going super low into what we're doing. We're being mindful of the depth. Awesome. Tight cores, right? If we have that body folding forward, I need your core to be tight, support your low back, keep you safe, as well as to keep that activity level higher. All right, last few finished in 3, in 2, in 1. Once again, 15 seconds of recovery. Our next movement is balance. Our right foot is going to be lifted. Our right hand is going to punch across the body only. Okay, find one target spot for that hand in 3, in 2, in 1. Turn and punch. Tighten the core. Feel the hip on this side, right? My more manageable people, we could put the toe to that floor if we want. We can still work plenty of stability through that. If you can hear Jackson, he is breathing out when he's punching. I want you doing the same. Practice the breath to the punch. There we go. After this, we're going to be going to the floor for the Russian twist. 10 more seconds. Now Jackson could have a bend in his knee, but keeping that leg straight is a-okay too. You can do either 2, 1, come down to the floor, weight optional for your Russian twist. All right, so get to that tall chest point. Let's start in 3, in 2, in 1. I'm showing you that manageable option. My feet stay to the floor, but I still try to work on kind of that high chest point, so I've got good activity as well as a good straight back. Smooth breathing, same thing. Jackson, if you can hear him, every rotation there's a breath out. He's finding consistency to that breath. I want you all practicing the same out there. All right, in 3, 2, 1. It is your V-shaped hold next. I want to see those arms out. All right, we're going to get started in 3, in 2, in 1. Simple hold. Hands are not up here. Hands are straight out in front of the shoulders. That means those lats are working. More manageable folk, we put one foot to the floor, but we still stay tall through that spine. Steady, smooth breathing. In 3, 2, 1. Turn it around. Half push-up hold is where we finish. So we come down to that bottom point in 3, 2, 1. Now I could be on the knees and still do that same motion, that single hold. Elbows pretty close to the body. 3, 2, rest. Woo! All right.
All right.
We have made it to the top. Yeah, the Nile over there. What, you know, Mexico's got some good pyramids through there. Teotihuacan. I'm sure I'm just butchering that name right there. I've been there though. It was pretty cool, I gotta say. All right. So we got to do a little repeat of that. So we got to work it backwards, and then we got to add a little bit of that 2-2-2 spice to things. It's the good stuff, right? All right, 10 seconds. We're gonna start on the floor. Half push-up hold begins in 3, in 2, in 1. Keep it there. Hold into place. Breathe. All right, finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. Turn it around. You're on your butt. Arms reach out. Feet into the floor or 1 foot on the floor. We get started in 3, in 2, in 1. Think eyes kind of looking forward. Think chest up. All right, single leg could be on the floor. We're going to switch the leg if it is. Nice. And so once again, Jackson's lat muscles are used when his arms stay a little bit lower as opposed to lifting them high. 3, 2, 1. Next up, grab a weight if you want, or we could do body weight for the Russian twist. Your choice through here. We get started in 3, in 2, in 1. Same chest high position. Let's find some good breathing. You turn, you breathe out. Turn, you breathe out. All right, we got ourselves about 10 seconds remaining. Are we getting a burn, Jackson?
Oh, yeah.
Hallelujah. Very good, folks. All right, finished with this in 3, in 2, in 1. You need 2 moderate weights. Stand up. You're going to balance with your left foot off and your left arm punching in 3, 2, 1. Left foot is up. Left arm is doing the punching. Now, if you feel good, maybe that punch becomes a little stronger. Maybe not. Maybe you keep it where it is. Good. And same rules apply. The knee could be lightly bent. The knee could be straight. Probably the knee bend, a little safer option for most people out there. That's all good. That's reality, folks. In 3, in 2, in 1. Now, you can keep moderate or light weights. It's the lateral lunge. And then we're going to fold forward and get that nice that delt fly through what we're doing. We'll go both sides. Feet together in 3, 2, 1. Sit back to one side. Awesome. Switch it over. More manageable option is not going deep into this, right? If I'm in that manageable option, I'm still going to step it. I'm still going to push my hips back a little bit. I'm just going to stay a little bit taller into that stance. There we go. There we go. You focus into what you're doing. You do keep those abs active, but really we want that knee to bend on the outside and we want your butt to sit backwards. Man, tough workout so far. I gotta take these breaks. I do. It's exhausting coaching this stuff. You guys have no idea. In 3, in 2, in 1. Now, you could use weights. This is the squat and the double curtsey as we finish out the pyramid. You could do body weight as well. It's 1 squat followed by 2 curtsies. If you got those weights, they might be happy down at the side. In 3, in 2, in 1. Get that squat. Do a curtsey on both of those sides. All right, bring it back up. And let's continue to think as we do a good squat. We want the eyes forward. We want the chest a little bit high. So once again, we maintain a strong straight back into what we're doing. Jackson, you're spit on my notes, my goodness. Good Lord.
Oh, no.
This guy
Not
can't
sweat
think
on his
anywhere.
notes.
What are you doing sweating during the workout? My goodness gracious. Oh, man, once again, getting exhaustion over here. All right, so 15 seconds. I want you to finish strong. If you can push tempo a little bit for 15, do it. Let's get what we can out of this. And then we go down to the floor for the 2-2-2s. So you've got a 30-second break. That starts in 3, in 2, in 1. Okay, 30 seconds of a break. 2-2-2s will follow from here. 2 moderate weights, maybe even 2 heavy weights if you're feeling a little strong out there. All right, 2 Renegade rows is where we start. You've got that on the knees position. If you're on the knees, the hips are forward. Ladies and gentlemen, get set up. We get started in 3, in 2, in 1. 2 of those Renegade rows, 2 of those heel lifts. Step it on up. 2 good squats, weights up in front, please. And 2 step back lunges, keeping that knee over top of the ankle in front. Back to the floor. Renegade rows. Bring it on up. Moderate option, not quite as low through that squat. Same thing for those lunges, maybe not quite as low. Nicely done, folks. Can you give me one more round? Can you get through 3 rounds? You got 20 seconds. Oh, that's okay. Reset. So always important to reset for that squat. I want you to make sure your toes are kind of pointed forward. They are that shoulder width apart. In 3, in 2, in 1. Put the weights down. We go shoulder openers, 3 of them. Get into a good stance and start by rolling the shoulders forward. Okay, we find where this works best for us. Get into that full range of motion. Go ahead and reverse it. Going backwards next. All right, last up we're going to do side to side. Give me one more backwards rotation. Reach over to one side overhead. Bring it up tall, switch it over. Okay, after this, we'll be on the floor for the core 3. We'll start in a seated position. 3, 2, 1. Come down to the floor, crab walk position. Opposite hand, tapping opposite foot. We get started in 3, in 2, in 1. Once again, more manageable approach. I could be just going down and pressing up. Going down, pressing up. Excellent. Jackson's got that breathing. I want you all to continue to put that breathing into what you're doing. You tap, you breathe out. You tap, you breathe out. All right, next up is a hollow hold with the side crunch in 3, in 2, in 1. Our time is going. Your feet need to be up into the air. Do that little small side crunch to one, little slide small crunch to the other. Okay, manageable option, 1 foot to the floor. Okay, we can use that as a way to still get plenty of activity, but not necessarily have the full impact of all that requirement. After this, we turn it around, we finish with our plank, and we're going to have shoulder retraction in 3, in 2, in 1. Now, I'm going to be on my knees, and I'm still going to work on that shoulder retraction going down, as well as a nice extension through the shoulders coming back up. Okay, if we're in that plank position on the knees, I once again do need those hips to be coming down with you. Don't have your butt sticking out. 10 seconds, smooth breathing. Last little bit here, folks. 3, 2, 1. That is rest. That is recover. That is high 5 time. That's the job. Nicely done, everybody. All right, you help yourself to some water. You have earned it. Give yourself an opportunity to let that heart rate drop down for just a moment.
Whew, that 222 spice.
The 222 spice.
That was tasty.
And you know, I've noticed like these extended Tabatas, they're an extra little spice too. Yeah. We put a bright little jalapeno into things for you all. I mean, you've been doing so good during your COVID time, we just figured we had to up the ante a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Get more out of us. I like it. Jackson and I are going to go over your extended Tabata movements once again. We got 5 of these movements. 3 of them are single-sided, which means we'll do them on both. Your very first movement, what I want you to do is grab a heavy, or at least a single moderate weight that can be hand-held, right? Held on one side. We're going to start with the suitcase squat, and we're going to have a little curl and press into it. So I want you tall. Even that free arm needs to be extended out. We do one squat coming down, we do a curl, we do a shoulder press, and we bring it back down piece by piece. So what I really want you to notice is alignment of that elbow straight up from the shoulder as we come down, while we maintain kind of the shoulders square during that squat. We do that on both sides. Our second movement gets into a single leg deadlift, and we're going to do 2 pulses. So this is either with a moderate weight or with no weight. I think body weight we're going to be a-okay on this one, but you can hug a weight into the chest if you want. Single leg deadlift is where we start. We're going to hold this position. You're going to give me 1 bend of the knee coming down, and then 1 heel lift behind you. Ooh, I need to work on my balance. We'll come down, and we'll do a little pulse. So little pulse into the forward leg, little pulse into the top leg. We'll do that on both of the sides, and then from there, we're going to bring it down to the floor, and we have 2 plank positions that we're going to be working through. So the first of our plank positions is going to be a hand to foot touch. We come up and do a good plank position. We reach opposite hand to opposite foot underneath, and then we switch it. Work on stability of your plank if you can, and if you need as that moderate option, we're just going to do some reaching back with 1 hand to the knee. After that, our next plank goes onto the elbows, and we're going to do an inchworm plank. So we're going to walk those hips up, and then we're going to walk back to a straight plank position at the bottom. And walk it back up, arch the hips, feel the abs raising, and then walk it on back. All right. After that, our final movement is down flat to the floor on one side. This is a familiar movement with us, top arm overhead. We're going to reach up, hands to feet, and smoothly come back down. All right, more manageable approach. Knees can be bent as an option through there. All right, folks, let's get ready for it. We're going to start you standing up. You're going to do that suitcase squat. I do recommend a heavy weight if you got it, but a moderate weight will do a-okay as well. We're going to start you in 10 seconds, so let's get into a good squat position. Your free arm is kicked out to the side in 3, in 2, in 1. 1 good squat, 1 curl, 1 press, and we bring it down piece by piece, sticking to that side. Now, you're going to notice Jackson's really got a great opportunity. One thing you guys don't know is there's a mirror right behind you. So Jackson's got a great view of keeping his shoulders steady, right? I don't want dipping into this, and as that other arm is out, you got a great opportunity to keep the body more active. Finished on this side in 3, in 2, in 1. Just simply switch the hands over. Same thing coming up. You show me great squats. Starting in 3, in 2, in 1. 1 good squat, 1 curl, 1 press, and once again doing a nice job of keeping that elbow in front on the way up and down of that curl and press. Excellent. Moderate option, not full extension, and not full depth into the squat. All right, we go finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. Weight optional, single leg deadlift is next with the 2 pulses. 1 going down, 1 lifting behind you. We start in 3, 2, 1. Get to that T position of the body. Ooh, I really need to work on my balance here. My goodness. It's weird. You know, it's funny. I was doing single leg deadlifts all earlier today to prepare for it. And when the lights go on, my body's embarrassing me on camera. My goodness. So Jackson's doing a nice job. This is not a big knee bend. We're not going super deep into this, but it's enough to wake up kind of the strength of that leg and to get a little booty working behind him. In 3, in 2, in 1. Come up. We're going to switch it over. Your second side starts. Get ready. In 3, in 2, in 1. Nice. Moderate knee bend. and then moderate heel lift. Yeah. Jackson's doing a tremendous job of showing you a flat back through here. Do not let your back round. You need to pull those shoulder blades back and down to keep that engagement and to keep that safe, straight spine. All right, we go finished with this in 3, in 2, in 1. You come down to the floor, plank position next. Toe taps. We're going to get started in 3, in 2, in 1. Opposite hand reaching for opposite toes underneath. Each time you come back to a good plank position. Now, if you're on the knees, we're doing a single arm reaching underneath to that cross leg. There we go. Fine tune what you're doing. Put the breathing into what's going on. We're going to go down to the elbows for the following plank in 3, in 2, in 1. Down to the elbows. Once again, good straight plank. We're going to walk the feet up for an inchworm and walk it back down. In 2, in 1. Walk those feet in, arch the hips up, walk it back out. Now I want you to feel the top of your abs helping the lift as well as controlling the down. Awesome. If you need to take a breather at any point, you're welcome to it. Jackson's doing a nice job of retracting his shoulder blades when he comes back down. Pay attention to this at the bottom, the shoulders retract. In 3, in 2, in 1. We finish up on our side, one hand up and overhead, the other arm is straight out in front of you. We're going to reach up to the feet in 3, in 2, in 1. We're going to find a high point for that reach. We're going to have a slow coming back down. More manageable approach. Those knees are bent, and we're just not extending the legs, or maybe even not even extending that arm as far back. Excellent. Jackson's got his breathing out on the up. Out on the up, folks. Good. We go finished in 3, in 2, in 1. Let's turn it. Let's switch it. Get into position. We'll take a breather after this one. So give me your best, starting in 3, in 2, in 1. Lift up high, slow coming down. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Make sure that the slow coming down point is really taking place. There we go, there we go. That's the breathing. 10 more seconds remaining into what we're doing here. Find that focus to the finish. Finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. That is break time, that is breather time, that is high five time.
Here.
Oh. So,
Save it.
I think we've said this once or twice before. The secret to a successful high five, look at their elbow as you're high fiving them.
Oh!
Did you hear that?
Can't make this up, folks.
Secret's out. Everybody knows that's how Maverick and Goose did it. All right, so we got one more round with this. Make sure you've hydrated. Make sure you're ready to go. Remember that we do got a little bit of those 222s tacked onto the back end of this. We will get started very shortly here. Okay, 10 seconds is our time. We're going to start out with that suitcase squat and that curl and press. 3, 2, 1. One good squat, that curl, that press, and bringing it right back in to that good depth squat, hopefully. Let's continue to make sure that free arm is out. It is active. Let's keep that side of the body still working as well. Awesome. And I'm just going to sit back and drink water. You guys keep working out hard over there. I appreciate the effort you're giving me. I'm feeling this for you. It's empathetic. 3, 2, 1. 10 seconds. Switching our sides. Next side will start. We'll get going in 3, in 2, in 1. Go ahead and get going. Same thing, that free arm is kicked out, so I love extension and kind of pointing fingers down to really kind of get everything working there. As you're standing up, you're breathing out, right? Stand through that squat with a breath out. All right, we go single leg deadlifts next. 3, 2, 1. 10 seconds of rest. You can keep a weight or you can go body weight. I'm going to try not to embarrass myself here. Got 2 pulses in 3, in 2, in 1. 1 going down, 1 heel lift behind. All right, more manageable approach. We could just be a little bit higher up through that and still work through those same options. Think about your lat muscles. If you're holding a weight in, you should be able to use those lat muscles to really kind of pin them down. And that's going to keep that back in a safe spot, in a more active spot. Finished in 3, in 2, in 1. Go ahead and switch the sides. Get ready for it. We start on the opposite in 3, in 2, in 1. Good, so first up, you should be maintaining a good T position with the body, right? Find that T position, and then we can work into that small squat and that small heel kick. There's the breathing, abs tight. Not only does that engage more, that balances us better. After this, we're going to be coming down to the floor for planks. Coming down in 3, in 2, in 1. Come down to the floor. We're going to go hand to foot taps below us. All right, we get started in 3, in 2, in 1. Opposite hand, reaching for that opposite foot underneath. More manageable approach on the knees and reaching back towards that cross leg, please. There we go. There's the breathing. As you tap hand to foot, breath out. Tap, breath out. All right, last few finished in 3, in 2, in 1. We go down to the elbows for the next plank, our inchworm plank. We're going to be walking the feet in and then stepping them out in 3, in 2, in 1. Now, this doesn't need to be a huge arching of the hips. If you find that as a challenge, just go up a little bit and come back down a little bit. Once again, if you look at Jackson here, he's got shoulder retraction that finishes the bottom motion. Don't stay too hunched up top here. Let's let those shoulder blades drop at the bottom of your good plank. All right, finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. Lie down on your side. Top arm raises up and overhead. We meet the feet at the top, starting in 3, in 2, in 1. Go ahead and find that high point. Slow, coming back down. Knees could be bent. Arm could be bent, elbow could be bent, as ways to make that more manageable. There it is. High point with the breath out. High point with the breath out is what we're looking for. All right, finished on this side. In 3, in 2, in 1. Go ahead and turn it, switch it. All right, we get started in 3, in 2, in 1. Come on, work through this. Show me a high point with a breath out. Slow coming down with a big reach away from that center of the body. Come here. And if you find some decent rolls in there, just use those core muscles to get you back into position. 10 seconds, folks, 10 seconds. You're finishing with the best of your ability here. All right, 3, 2, 1. Take a breather. 30 seconds of rest. 2 2-2s will follow soon. If you need any water, now is that time to do so. We're going to be going down to the floor with those moderate weights for the 2 2-2s. We got 10 seconds and we begin. Come down to the floor. Weights underneath you. Renegade rows. Start in 3, in 2, in 1. 2 renegade rows. 2 heel lifts. Step it up for 2 squats with the weights in front of those shoulders. 2 lunges, keeping those weights. Bring it back down to the floor. Step it on out. Show me 2 great renegade rows. 2 great heel lifts. Butt working. Stand on up. Keep the butt working. Keep those weights up. 2 lunges. We're not doing huge step backs. We're keeping them moderate in size. Got 20 seconds. Can you give me one more round? Nicely done. Bringing it up. After this, we'll be standing for our mobility movement. Go finish with these in 3, in 2, in 1. Put the weights down. Doing those shoulder circles, right? Those openers to the front as we begin. All right, then we reverse it, coming backwards. You'll notice I'm kind of opening my fingers wide here. Too much of our life we are just kind of gripping here, so let's open it up. And then we'll finish up doing side to side. Go ahead and start with one hand reaching to one overhead, switching it over. Three, 2, 1. Come down to the floor. Crab walk, tapping hand to foot. 30 seconds. We'll get us started in 3, in 2, in 1. Show me control the best that you can. More moderate option is a hip press from the floor. Whatever you're doing, you push up, you breathe out. You reach, you tap, you breathe out. Find the connection of what we're doing with the breath. After this, we're going to be getting onto our back for the hollow hold in 3, in 2, in 1. On your back, legs up, hands up, little side crunches from that hollow hold. More manageable approach. One foot could be on the floor. And after this, we will finish with the plank position, shoulder retraction and shoulder extension. 10 seconds till we get there. Good. Low back pressure, right? Push that low back down. Wake up more. 3, 2, 1. Plank position. Could be on the knees. We're going to get shoulder retraction and extension. Here and up. So what we're looking for is lat engagement coming down. And then as you press, that's going to give you a little bit more up in front, but those lats still need to be working. This is a way to integrate our back into our plank. Last few, finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. That is recover. That is high five time. That is another killer workout, everybody. You are doing tremendous work out there. And you should be. We've been practicing this stuff for a little bit. It is time to step our game up. You are stepping it up. Be proud of what you're doing. Don't be afraid to give yourself like a little pat on the back. Or maybe just a little smile. You'll notice I've got Jackson well trained over here. He immediately goes onto his back and brings his arms overhead. So
Exactly what he wants.
Listen, I tell you, whole new world these days. All right, so get into the breathing, right? The belly breathing with the big inhale and the long exhale. All right, time to slow things down. With the reach, feel that the hands really are giving a nice reach overhead, and that has the opportunity to not only open the spine, but to open the chest that we've been talking about using and lifting, to open the belly that we've been talking about keeping tight. Open these areas, breathe, and bring oxygen and life back into them here. All right, right leg up, hands behind it. Hamstring stretch. If you want to get a little playful with the foot, always welcome to do so. Just a reminder that stretches are meant to be at like a moderate level of discomfort. You can overstretch, and so you do need to be a little bit careful as to like how much you might be feeling something. Don't be afraid to back off a little bit if necessary. Okay, that leg comes a little over to the left side next. So we get the outside of that right hip. Give us a little bit of opening. Once again, playful with that foot is always okay. Give me that belly breath in. Long exhale out. We're going to bend the knee, bring it across. And then that right arm reaching. You got it. Let's see if we can keep that right shoulder kind of right in touch with the floor. And that determines how far the knee is going to be going on the left. Okay, nice big inhale in. Nice long exhale out. Let's unwind the twist. Bring your left leg up, both hands behind it. Playful with the foot if you'd like through here. Well, folks, we're going to talk about change today. And there's a very, very favorite quote of mine that Sarah and Sarah's dad taught her that I'm going to use. We're going to bring that leg a little across to the right side. Once again, playful with the foot is okay. Early on in our relationship, she said this, and it has always stuck with me. Change is inevitable. Suffering is optional. Right? And I think it's good to remember that change is an everyday part of our lives in very minuscule ways, and at other times in very powerful, very more deterministic ways through there. Generally, I think as humans, let's go ahead and bend the knee and bring it across and get into that nice twist through here. I think we generally fear what we don't know. There's always kind of an underlying fear associated with what our brain is not able to finally, write a line to. It's human nature to worry about that a little bit. However, it can also bring like the sweetest surprises when you have no idea what's going on and something positive happens, especially if it's something that you never even considered as an option. Let's go ahead and unwind the twist. You get into the butterfly stretch next, the bottom of those feet together, either seated or on your back like Jackson here, but most importantly, the knees pressing down to open up the inner thigh stretch here. Some of those sweet surprises are like losing a job and then the new job that may come. It might be like that next opportunity that you never even considered or thought about. Or like opportunities to learn and understand are always a part of change, I feel like. Because if we're unfamiliar with what's going on, we have no choice but to start learning a new outcome, a new road, a new path, different things that are required in whatever change is taking place. Nice big inhale in. Nice long exhale out. Let's go ahead and come on up. We'll get into our kneeling position, so your left knee will be down first. All right, right foot is out in front. We're going to bring that left arm up. We're going to squeeze your butt on that left side. We're going to get that nice stretch through the front of the left to the knee all the way up towards the hand. Now, I wanted to point out something. I don't know if anybody can actually see this or how well, but there's a nice little wooden mural I've got back here. And in it is a little bit of a stencil that says, "Every choice is a world made new." Every single choice you make changes your world every little so bit. Go ahead and bring that down, switch it on over, opposite side. And so what I want you to kind of gather from that, and what I gather from it, and why I have this art, is because it puts the power of our future, our paths, in our own decision-making process. Think about that, and also be at peace with that too. That you can change anything at any given point in time, and each of your own little decisions that you make create something a little bit new. Let's go ahead and lower down with the hand, comfortable seated position. We'll do a little side stretching next here as we get towards the end. Now, one hand over hand, just kind of reaching out with the fingertips and a few good breaths as we hold this. Also changes how we grow, right? So sometimes we're forced to change, sometimes we opt to change, but growth is really a massive determinant in kind of when change occurs. Let's go ahead and switch it on over, opposite side. I mean, in the exercise world, if we don't change the exercise that we're doing, if we do the same thing every single day, your body gets used to it. We don't have the body changing anymore, and it doesn't even really challenge the body anymore. So getting that change is growth in the physical sense. Go ahead and bring it back down, and then we're going to finish out with a few of those neck rolls going in one direction. After you've done 3 or 4, you can switch it over. recently our world has changed really dramatically around us, and we're even seeing an uptick in things again, and so that's another change that maybe we didn't anticipate was going to be coming this quickly. It's up to us to make positivity out of when change comes. Okay, so it's a mindset that you take. And whether that's discussing, the things like Black Lives Matters that we've been discussing a little bit recently, whether that's like what your job entails and how that may have changed over time with your family, eating habits. I mean, all these things are within your reach, and I want you to have a positive mindset going into those because you can, and you can get great results from change. I challenge you all to find beauty in some way as we're going through what we are, and think of at least one way in which your life is better based on what we're going through today and kind of our COVID and our quarantine times. Jackson, anything to throw into that?
No, I got nothing.
Not today. And that's okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you have yourselves a wonderful day. We will be back tomorrow.